and financing. So I request for the keynote address, Ms.Romina Khurshid Alam Saiba. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Very good evening, all of you. Thank you very much, Madam Amna, for your very kind and humble remarks. I'm really grateful. And before that, I would really like to pay my regards to Mr. and Mrs. Excellency Ambassador of Azerbaijan, a great brother and a great friend of Pakistan, Madam Senator Sitara Yas Saiba, our very dear friend from NDMRF, Mr. Bilal Ahmed, Umair Mufakkir Sahab, Dr. Jaspal from Qaid-e-Azam University, all the media especially who is here, because I always believe the media is the key bone, because they are the ones through them our message can be delivered to those corridors which maybe we can't go by ourselves. And of course all the worthy guests over here, and especially the youth which are present over here and those who are online with us. Very Assalamu alaikum from my side. When we talk about climate change or these things, I'm grateful to the civil society, and especially think tanks and all those stakeholders who are here right now today in this room. Of course, without you, things won't get possibly done. The little difference in the previous COPs and in this time, we are trying. I'm glad that Mr. Bilal is also here, and most of the people who know that this time we are trying to make a difference in a way that we are trying to gauge everyone before going to COP, to bring the things aligned on the agenda and to make everybody active, being participated, and everything should be highly in a right way, should be present and portrayed in the COP. Because COP for me, it's not a forum to get something. Moreover, to deliver something, to tell and to ask in a right way that what we are, who we are, and why we are suffering, and what sort of challenges we all gone through. Of course, we know that the Loss and Damage Fund, which was a huge success of Pakistan, which we got in COP27. But getting back to that, how much the pledges were big, but how much we get, how much the vulnerable countries get. So for me, this COP, along with my all people who are being the people who are looking after the things and the way we are working, it is moreover, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about us. The vulnerable countries, the vulnerable 20 countries which we are talking about, how the developed countries are going to talk about, because we have seen in the different conferences, we have seen in the different COPs, like if we go through the Paris Agreement, what is the status of the vulnerable countries, how we are suffering, right? So how we can take them along, and what sort of climate justice is now moreover important, because for the developing countries, and specifically I always say that the COP or the climate change is not a subject that anybody can take their own directions. Now it's not one person, it's all. It's a global impact, that if someone in one country is doing something, or giving the damage to the nature, that impact goes to everyone. We all know that, okay, fine. We all know that we are vulnerable. Our part is very low or less. But then what? If less, then why we have to suffer more? And this is not in different areas we always came across to know that the one solution being given to everyone. So I say that it's not a tablet for a temperature to give it to everyone, like Panadol ki goli sabko ek de do. It's not that. It's moreover important that regional solutions we need to go for, because at the same time, when the Asia region is suffering from the very disaster sort of a floods, at the same time Africa region was suffering from the droughts. So how are we going to bring the difference? How we can give the solution towards those vulnerable countries, and how we can work together, and what we can learn from the best practices, and then the sanctions. Of course, we know the carbon policy is coming, we are talking about these issues as well. So that sort of an impact, that how much these developing countries, or other than the developing countries, these vulnerable countries, are they ready for that? Of course, if we talk about Pakistan, we go through with so much challenges, restraints, and we know that we've gone through with a huge disaster and a huge loss. But at the same time, as a resilience nation, we all stand up again. we all been together. But other than that, the loss which we got. And then again, I just wanted to highlight over here that when we talk about the loss and damage, we should not only talk about the financial loss and damage. What about the mental, that health and the traumas which people, and specifically when we talk about women and children, adolescents, and the families, the traumas like people go through with a huge traumas. Of course, one day, one fine morning, you woke up and you saw that there is no roof on your head. You don't have any home, you have nothing to eat. But then those rural area women, I would really like to say, I always quote that the woman of Pakistan is such a resilient and strong woman that she knows that everything is gone. But the next morning she woke up, she's gathered her strength, and she made once again that stove of mud, that she know that she have to cook something for the kids. So this is something which we need to take pride, not only the pride, we need to tell to the world that listen, we know, we suffered, but now we don't want your aid. We want the trade. We want the right not for Pakistan, for all the vulnerable countries who have been suffering from this, climate change consequences. And this is no more natural disasters. These are moreover the man-made disasters. And those who are responsible, they need to be more, not only to pledge, to come up with a mechanism and to, set the examples that where these countries, the vulnerable countries can, how they can grow and how they can come into the better way. Getting back once again, I'm really grateful, Madam Amna, that you and you've always been so kind, and the way you're also working from so long, we all know. I think it's a great thing to highlight over here. The most important thing that everybody know that everyone is working somewhere in their own capacities. But the biggest thing that the collaboration, the coordination is missing. We can, the most probably, sometimes it happens that, okay, I'm doing something, I want you to share. But this is not the time now. We need to share our best practices. We need to share our work together, because we can complement each other with our works, with our efforts. And I'm glad that you have taken this decision, and I'm really grateful for this, because this is something which can, give more value and volume to the work and to the support, because I believe that nothing can be, nothing is impossible, but only the possibility is when we all work together. Rather than it's much more better to do the right things in a right way and to portray those things in a right direction. When it comes to, and I really like to, highlight, because of course we all know that after the 18th Amendment, the provinces like the subject being devolved. But other than that, again, the Federation is very much responsible for the international treaties and international conventions and the coordination among the provinces. And specifically, when we talk about the provinces, I really like to talk about HK and GB as well. So it's a coordination more, and how we have to, take everyone along and the agenda along. And for that, I really want to share over here that I'm really glad that we tried our best. That it's not that I would say that, okay, I'm someone who know everything. So it's not the way. We gathered a number of very well-aware people. Those are part of that committee, which our Honorable Prime Minister has constituted, in that I'm chairing it, but we have lots of people, the knowledgeable member from nationally and internationally, where we can strengthen the Pakistan's position, and not only the Pakistan position, I'm talking about the V20 countries more, because it is now a time, because it's now or it's never. We all need to stand for each other, and that is the clear message which we are portraying. And then I really want to highlight, because mostly when we talk about the climate, mostly the developed countries, they talk about the mitigation side. But as being the vulnerable countries, as being in the position, we know that more than mitigation, we are more needed go towards the adaptation side as well. Because this is something which we all, the sort of finances and challenges we have to go through with the adaptation process as well, and the things. And then of course, loss and damage funds, of course, we do need to talk about on that. Again and again, I believe it's more important to, talk about on these issues and to make them remember that they need to work, how much the pledges are there, and then how much the system, because most probably it happened that the pledges are being made, but the process of giving that amount or those pledges towards the transformation or transfer to those vulnerable countries has become more challenging. So then most of the countries, they don't have, at times they don't have that much expertise, and then that whole process took so much long. So that also something which needs to be highlighted. And then, as I've already mentioned about trade, we are looking for trade, not for the aid. That is also something very important, because I in my humble capacity, I believe that it's moreover important that how we portray, how we put our case. Are we on the very begging side? No, we should not. We should ask in a right way, appropriate way, that it's a right. And for that, climate justice should be more important, than how we can focus on that. And we are, from the ministry side, of course, we are working along on that as well, but not alone, of course, with the support and with the help of our partners, our civil society sectors, of course, the judiciary and all. And then I really believe when we talk about, because from the day I have joined till now, I believe the climate diplomacy, when we talk about, this is the most important component, and I believe this is one of the subjects where one can play, these sectors, when we're going to be together, we can play a great, this climate diplomacy can play a great pivotal role as a bridge to get that things on in front of course, when we talk about the justice, that how we can get that, how we can work with each other, and not only the justice, how we can facilitate these developing countries, those are the we 20 countries, vulnerable 20 countries, and how we can support each other, how the UN mechanism can be developed, or how that conventions or protocols, because we all know that in the different conferences, I'm sorry, there's so much good things come over, but how we can make them, not only those conventions, how we can bring them in practice more, how they can be more doable. That is, of course, one of the things. And then, of course, I would really like to share over there that sustainability, when we talk about SDGs as well, when we talk about the future fulfilling goals, how we can go towards that. And, as the plan, National Adaptation Plan, of course, then we are talking about the national NDCs, and then upscaling Green Pakistan program. And then in these 2 months, I would really like to share as well that we have spearheaded numerous initiatives aimed of making Pakistan climate resilient. This includes reviewing of laws and policies, and then mobilizing resources more, and enhancing access to climate finance. So the Prime Minister has established a committee on the secretaries and sectors experts to review our governance and institutional structure in that. And then not only that, of course, the whole governance approach, then the ministry, how we're going to mainstream the climate considerations, operationalizing of Pakistan Climate Change Authority, which is, of course, and fund, of course, everybody knows it's a huge thing which has been discussed from last. And then accessing climate finance, and then developing policy guidelines specifically for carbon markets, ongoing policy reviews, climate diplomacy, of course, which I've mentioned. And then, of course, in that way, how we can for the technical assistance, for the climate finance, which is very much important. Then our outreach, the most important, of course, everything is very important, but I think the most important component is the media as well. That how we can reach this messages can reach towards for the public, how we can create the awarenesses, and how we can create that not only for the with the industrial sectors, with the corporate sectors, all sort of sectors, how we have to engage. And these are a few of the things, and very soon, of course, we are going to host another event in which we youth, the civil society, education sector, because academia, of course, and the research centers, because it is very much important to take everybody along and leave no one behind. And especially when it is nowadays, when it's a talk that I think this is something which is very much unique from the Azerbaijan perspective, this COP, that the COP cross they were talking about, the solidarity, the peace, because peace is also something which is very much needed for the COP, because the way the things are happening, not in so many parts of the world, but the things which is happening specifically in Gaza. I think this is also something which is very important. We all need to talk about it. And as you know, that the Honorable Prime Minister, wherever he goes, internationally, globally, and even in Pakistan, is talking about the climate change and about the peace. So with this note, I would really like to thank Madam Amna and my all worthy panelists who are sitting on my right and left, and of course all of you who are sitting over here. I just wanted to say in end, just 1 or 2 minutes I would like to take is that, you know, and academia is very much there, and it's a great moment where most of it's really good to have this feeling that we are working all together. And because of course one man show cannot work. When it comes to nation, when it comes to country, when it comes to all of us, togetherness, unity means a lot. And I'm looking for that, seeking for that, and I'm very much assured when it comes to youth, of course that is one of a very important component. I just wanted to request to the youngsters that you people can make a huge difference. But there is one another segment which is also very much important, more important than the youth, is the children. The school-going children. They are the most important component, because there you can build the narrative. They are the ones who are going to be the one who can, and not only they are the ones who can adopt that things which we wanted to say. Because unfortunately at times I feel when we talk that, you know, we discuss and then we forget. But the children are not the ones. They know what they're talking when, because you know, we all know, because those who are having children, or maybe in our childhood times, if you want to recall, because whatever anyone is saying, but what teacher has told us, that still we remember. So I think that is one of the core area which we also need to work along. And last but not the least, I think it's again, I wanted to repeat that together, yes, we can go for more strength. It's not you, it's not me, it's for us. And if together we can bring some change, again, it's not for today, it's going on towards for our nations to come. Thank you so very much. May God bless.
Thank you.